Hey, Scott, take us through the process on Thursday night. Fifth pick comes up. Your counsel, who you talking with, final say obviously is yours.
Yeah, all the work's going to be done by Thursday morning. Matter of fact, if you ever were able to walk in, you just kind of start laughing because it's just so laid back. The board's set. I don't want confusion. The only time it gets a little anxious is if somebody calls and offers a pretty dang good trade, or two teams call. That's when things might get a little bit testy at times. But I pride myself, and I want that room just to be steady, like I do the football players. If things can come at us, that's fine. And if we want to trade back, we trade back. If not, we stay there. We take the best football player available.
Scott, when we talked to you in Arizona, you said you would consider drafting Marcus Mariota with the number 5 overall pick if he were available. How does picking up RG3's fifth-year option impact whether?
It does not affect our draft process whatsoever. Like I said, if we get to the 5th pick and the best player is a quarterback, we're taking the quarterback.
So you would be open to carrying 4 quarterbacks?
Oh yeah, well, you got other options too, with Kurt and with Colt, But we like the 3 we have, but again, we're not going to pass on a good football player. There's no reason to.
Are there any of these guys that won't go in the first round? Are there any of them that you think can make a potential impact on this league in, say, the next 5 years?
Talking about quarterback?
No, just the players that.
Oh yeah, certainly. Oh, yeah.
Is there any specific players that you think?
I can't say that, but there are. I have a handful all the way through my draft board, all the way down to the 7th round. I feel really good about. I got a gut that they're going to, if not come in and be a starter, they're going to be a quality backup early on with the ability to start down the line. But again, that's when special teams comes into play. With the DBs, with the receivers, with the running backs who you take later on, they need to be a good core special teams guys. That's all right.
We hadn't talked to you since the Deshaun Golson trade. What do you see in him? How do you envision him helping out? And what do your history there? How much does that play in?
It played a lot into it. I was very lucky to draft him, and when I was in San Fran, he was a corner coming out of University of Washington. But I got to know him as a person. He's always been a good football player. He's a physical guy. He's a really good leader for the young guys. He's all about football. And I really respect that. But I was lucky enough too, like with Ron Johnson, to have past working knowledge of them as people, workers in the off season, workers during the season, and then he's a forceful impact on game day, big time.
I think a lot of us could just pull up a tape and say, hey, that guy's a good football player. But what goes into figuring out if this guy is you want a guy who's going to be good 2, 3, 4 years down the road. What goes into figuring that out?
That's when I'm very lucky coming in here because I know a lot of the personnel staff that was here, college or pro, and they do an excellent job. They're really, really thorough on the background. A lot of stuff on tape, you can see aggressiveness, you can see want to, you can see a consistent play every game. He's busting his tail, gets the ball or running the ball or whatever. But a lot of it, like you said, a lot of people sit here and watch a game and say, okay, that's the best player on the team. This guy scores 3 touchdowns or whatever. But you got to get in here and here. And that's what's so hard. And when mistakes are made, especially early on, it's because you don't know that well enough. And you can't know it 100%. But I with our guys, if I said it one time, I probably said it 100 times to them, listen, let's find out what makes him tick. Does he have that it factor? Understand we're going to have a 2-game losing streak. Is he one of the guys that's going to pull us out of it, or is he going to stay in it? I want those guys that are they're all football. They're intelligent, but they're passionate. They want to be successful as a team, not as an individual, but as a team.